let's shuffle on to our next topic, guys. And I'm going to do this thing on myself. Bam, bam, bam. There you go. We're going to be talking. We'll be talking about Black Samurai. Diversity comes to feudal Japan. Did you hear about this? Did you know about this?
Well, I'm not surprised. Like, here is someone to say, "Oh, people are complaining about lack of black people in Shogun. Let's do a Black Samurai movie. That's going to do amazing. People are going to flock through the cinema. This is exactly the kind of diversity, equity, and inclusion audiences worldwide are screaming for." Does it come from the same producers as Scary Movie? Is my next question.
Honestly, I don't know. So basically, this is about a real life historical figure called it's spelt Yasuke, but it's pronounced like Yasuke or Yasuke, Yasuke or something like that. Yasuke. This person existed, but he was a sword bearer. He was a retainer for Nobunaga, and essentially when the Lord died, this individual disappeared from the face of the map. Like, there's no historical records of this chap ever. So it basically just died alongside this individual. And he's not a samurai. He was never a samurai for the actual things. Like, samurai is like a hereditary nobility title that's passed down. He also appointed it, but he was also never that. So he was quite literally just a servant with more rights, basically. And there is a story with Nobunaga where he genuinely thought that Yasuke had paint on him or dirt, and so he ordered his men, ordered his servants to wash him down, and it didn't come off. It's fascinating stuff. It's an interesting thing, but for
so
sure
they were trying to wash the black of him. Is that what we're saying here?
That's what they were trying to do, yeah, in feudal Japan, yeah. But he was never actually a samurai, and there'll be Japanese people that will be able to chime in on this for sure. He was never actually a samurai. He was basically a bit of a mercenary, bit of a servant. He was kept around as essentially an oddity, right? That's what it was. But anyway, so this guy who did The Color Purple is now making this. It's going to be in the same vein as 300, apparently. So that's sort of like, Mad Max 300. That's what it's going to invoke shades of, apparently. And even this article wrongly states it. He's an African warrior who served under Japanese daimyo Oda Nobunaga, which he did during the Sengoku period of samurai conflict in 16th century Japan, which is true, but he was never. Again, it's cultural appropriation. God damn it! They're trying to make him a samurai, and he wasn't. He just wasn't a samurai. So there's not much else really known about it. But people are really massively up in their feelings, as one can imagine. So this was tweeted out by Culture Crave. 7 million views, obviously. And I chimed in on it. He was effectively a servant with some extra rights, not a samurai. Although Rooftop Korean is right, retainer, vassal. Saying servant makes him sound like a slave. I don't mean like a slave. That's not what I'm trying to imply here. If I meant
that's
slave,
what the samurai practically were. I mean, they were servants. They may not have been slaves, but they were servants, and they lived
they served their lord.
Servitude. Let's make no mistake about that. It's not like
I said, I harmlessly tweeted this out just because I think history is important. And oh my God, people lost their mind. People have completely lost their mind over it.
Wow,
White samurai okay,
responses.
Black samurai not okay. I'm like, I didn't mention white samurai, retard. Like, what are you talking about? and it's just mental.
And there it comes right away. My point is, it's a movie. Just enjoy it. No. This is going to be a rewrite of history, just like the Black
Woman
Queen
King
or Black King or whatever it was called.
The Woman King.
Woman King. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, exactly the same as that.
Or the Cleopatra thing that.
Oh no, there's that as well.
Egypt, the people in Egypt were suing and all pissed off about.
That pissed them off even more than Graham Hancock, and that takes a bit.
So thoughts, guys, because this is comical. I've caused a massive stir on Twitter. I think this tweet alone's got 100,000 views.
Wow!
But the hilarious thing is, in all of the replies, I ratio them, right? So, not all of the replies, but the majority of the replies, they get.
Well,
ratioed.
this one, 1,000 views and 15 likes. That's not great.
Well, this one, like for instance,
the one that said further up there, the one with that guy there. Yeah.
Well,
White Samurai, okay, blacks, yeah.
But all of the replies, like people are like, so this isn't a documentary. So I'm like, well, yeah, history is important though. So like on stuff like this, I get massively ratioed. But people just go, you're a racist. Like I'm not saying anything about white people. I'm just saying the historical truth. And this guy starts trying to bring in like Captain America. I'm like, what?
Well, it goes to show the mindset of these people and how desperate they are.
Isn't it? It's very bizarre. And then this guy was like, "Oh, it took 4 seconds," because he just googled Britannica article, and I'm like, "Yeah, it's dependent on how the word is defined. Like, it's dependent on how you define the word samurai." But someone posted something quite interesting actually about the Britannica article, is that it was written by an intern, so that was quite interesting. His samurai status is still disputed, and there's unfortunately a ton of noise from English language sources which conflate samurai with a regular warrior on a stipend. Here's a good distinction. So, yeah, there you go. What thoughts, guys? What do you reckon? What do you think? We're getting black samurais in feudal Japan.
In this day and age, this does not surprise me at all. Not at all. But I mean, when you're doing stuff based on historical events, I mean, I understand that people are going to probably take some liberties to make the film more exciting or whatever for the audience. Maybe change some things or add some things in there. It just depends on how far you take it.
I love this tweet, by the way. What's your problem, dude? No one's forcing you to watch it. I'm like, stating a fact is a problem to you. Why? Why?
Oh, jeez.
This is one of the best gifts ever. You should ever introduce this.
What is that thing? Like a mix between a pug and a squirrel and a cat?
It's like a cat dog pug thing. I don't bloody know. It's funny though. Cracks me up. Like, why? Why?
But
yeah, I mean, historic liberties and stuff. I get it, but yeah.
Like what was it? Noah. Did you ever watch Noah? Came out like
the one with Kurt Russell?
Yeah, the one, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
That one was completely not historically accurate at all. Of course, there was some historical accuracies in it, but a large section and large parts of it were just completely just made up. So, you know, when you're going into that, I just, depending on the topic and the subject that they're hitting on in the movie, sometimes it bothers me if they go too far off track of historical nature. And then other times I'm just like, you know, this historical event really doesn't have that much interesting stuff in it. So they probably had to take a lot of liberties to kind of make this, you know, entertaining. So I don't know with this. If I watch this, am I going to be like, oh, everything I'm watching is going to be historically accurate, just like I do any other historical film? No, absolutely not. Does it mean the movie's going to be bad? No, of course not. But, you know, when you're watching it, these kind of movies, you just got to take that into account. Like, hey, don't believe everything that you're going to see on screen. Like, this is historical fact.
Well, my issue with it is young people are stupid, and young people, being that they are stupid, get their history from films.
Oh
right?
yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah, so I have a real issue with that. Like I do. I have a real issue with how Woman King was misrepresented in the media, and how people didn't, you know, have the balls to come out and be like, yeah, Dahomey was an abhorrent piece of shit. They used to, you know, murder slaves. They were the ones selling slaves. They were still selling slaves after, you know, Britain, you know, outlawed it. You know, we lost people trying to shut them down, like all this kind of crap. And they were lauded as, in that movie, as some kind of epic, like, kingdom. But no, they were full of abhorrent assholes. So I've got a real issue with some of this sort of, you know, historical revisionism, when such people are so stupid they don't pick up a book, and everything on social media is twisted to fit a certain narrative. So I've got an issue with that. I don't have an issue with the film misrepresenting the facts. Like, I don't have an issue with that. I just have an issue with the amount of absolute tards that will then come online and go, we was samurais and shit. I'm like, oh God, shut up. Because that'll be a thing.
Oh yeah.
Whereas if I go and watch Shogun, for instance, right? Shogun's amazing and historically accurate. Yeah, the people in it are not what they are, like their names are different, but they are based on, and the events are all very, very much based on real historical situations and people and what happened. And if you go to Japan now, for instance, there's shrines. I think there's even a temple to William Adams, who is the character which the main character of Shogun is based on. So, you know, there's a slight difference there. That's a show which has a dramatization surrounding historical facts, but all the events are events which occurred, basically. They're just dramatizing around the events. But anyway, whatever. I think it'll be fine, I'm sure. Maybe. I can't imagine it's going to be particularly great. But it is what it is. Andre, what do you reckon, mate?
No, I'm actually in 100% agreement with you. I will defer passing judgment.
Also, sorry, just real quick. Cultural appropriation, for God's sake. All right? Come on now.
Oh, yeah. Nobody's bringing that up.
But that's only bad when white people are doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
That is true, yeah. Right, anyway, sorry, keep going, Andre, mate. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm, as I was saying, I'm 100% in agreement with you on this one. And I will defer judgment for the moment until we know more about the level of historical rewriting which is here. Because in the hypothetical event that this movie doesn't completely rewrite history, if it does what Shogun did, if it does what most historical adaptations does, which is basically that it takes the core events that happened, but then it just adds some drama to make it exciting for a 2-hour screen adaptation and make the changes needed. So you don't really change history per se. You just electrify it for the audience. But even if you've seen the movie, you would know the basic gist of what happened. If it does that, I have no issues with it. It'll be cool if they do that. I think it's very unlikely that they're going to do that. But if that's what they're doing, I have no issue. Go for it. However, if this is going to be some kind of like Woman King rewrite of history, where this guy was someone that not only turned out to be a fully recognized samurai, but the samurai to out-samurai all of the other Japanese samurai. So you basically go into the thing of complete historical fiction while claiming based on true events. I'll treat this the same way that I did the Woman King, which is basically to make videos warning about what kind of rewrite of history this is, how insidious it is, just like the Woman King was, like you, I didn't pull any punches there. After it was actually you that alerted me to what kind of really toxic rewrite of history it
So
was.
bad.
And
So
I
bad.
still haven't seen it, and I won't see it, and I don't need to see it because it's such a rewrite of history. I have no interest in even reviewing the movie on its own merits. It claims to represent history while completely and utterly rewriting history, and a part of history that there's no doubt about. We know what happened there. And I accept taking liberty in order to tell a compelling 2-hour story. I accept that. I don't accept a complete rewrite, especially one that is done through a modern lens to reflect contemporary politics. That's what we call propaganda.
That's what they're going to have with this.
Yeah.
Yasuke.
And most likely, that's what this
sure.
is going to be. Just like that German Titanic movie from 1943. Oh yeah, there's a German Titanic
I
movie.
did not know that.
No, it's actually a really, really good movie, but it's propaganda because there is one sensible guy on the Titanic who warns all of the stupid British
Is he German?
about the. He's a German, of course. This is one German crew member who is right about everything and in control about everything, and he tries to warn all of the stupid, arrogant Brits of the iceberg they're literally heading towards. But of course, they're stupid Brits, so they're not listening to him. It's actually a really cool movie, but it's propaganda. It's a complete rewrite of history, and it must be seen through that lens. It's something that the kind of thing that actually does need a content warning, because what you're seeing is not history. It's something that's meant to change your mind about certain things, and my fear and suspicion is that that's exactly what this movie is going to be.
Well, real quick, D has super chat $20 and chiming in on this over on Streamlabs says they need to race and gender swap the character as DEI is important. It should be a non-binary, one-legged Inuit samurai.
I mean, at this point, why not? Might as well.
It only works one way, guys. Right? That only works one way. So, diversity doesn't mean diversity. It just means
get the white people out.
It means non-white. It means nothing else.
Yeah. So there you go. It is what it is. Very, very funny.